Vector in on that guy by the back wheel. All right, lock on and enlarge the Z-axis.
And enhance the X and Y. Now we're cooking, all right.
Hi, James Whiffen here for CG Tuts, and today in this first part of a two-part tutorial, we'll be match moving our footage, setting up the skeleton model in Maya, and then assigning our materials and rendering out our passes to composite in After Effects, which will be the second part of the tutorial, and that will be hosted on AE Tuts. When I first started to match move this footage, I spent about 5 hours just trying to get it right, and it looked fine. It's just that some frames had this terrible jitter, and I couldn't work out what that was, and it turns out that the footage was actually suffering from rolling shutter, which I thought was only a DSLR problem, but my camera HV40 is also a CMOS camera, and it was suffering from rolling shutter in this particular shot. I've owned that camera for about 2 years, and this is the first shot that I've ever had a problem with rolling shutter. But anyway, to get rid of that, I just ran it through the Foundry's rolling shutter plugin, and that's the footage that I'll be giving to you. It's had the rolling shutter removed. I've just opened up the corrected rolling shutter corrected footage in PFTrack, and I'll just let it play through so that PFTrack can cache it. As you can see, it's very slow to play otherwise, and I'll see when that's done. Now what we want to do is mask out the parts that are moving. I can see here that the shade cloth at the very top is affected by the wind and moves quite a lot here, so I'll mask that out because we'll be doing an auto track of everything. Now Isaac here does a very good job of standing still, but it's very difficult to do so. So his arms are probably swaying a bit, a few millimeters here and there, and I don't really want to be tracking those swaying arms, but instead of just masking it out, I might just let PFTrack track it if it wants, and I can delete those points later. But I do want to get rid of this shade cloth here, so I'll just come up to the masks and create a Bezier. It's very slow at the moment. I actually took my graphics card out because I was having a problem with it just running off the Sandy Bridge in graphics that comes with the CPU, so it's very slow. So that's the mask there, and what I want to do is sort of just keyframe it. You can assign this to a tracking point if you've got a tracking point, but the perspective changes a bit, so it wouldn't help too much. So I'll just sort of fix it up a bit. It's okay if we're cutting out even a fair chunk of this corrugated iron or whatever that shed is made out of. It's a tiling pattern, so it's very difficult to track accurately. I've just got some crazy Bezier curve going on over here. Oops. So I'll just do this mask in fast forward, and I'll see you guys when I've done that. Okay, I've created a very crude mask for the shade cloth, and now I'm going to track my features. I had a bit of trouble with this shot before, so what I might do is go tracking parameters and just preview what's it's gonna track here, and I might just increase the quality. Sorry, not the quality, the size, which can give you a more accurate track because it's tracking at a high resolution. And the amount of trackers looks pretty good. Yep, I'll go for that, and I'll do an auto track. So let's do that. The auto track is finished, and yeah, that looks pretty good. Got a fair amount of trackers everywhere, and even on Isaac. But the thing is, trackers come and go, and I don't want to have to keep deleting them off Isaac. If keep deleting them now, they'll come back, or different tracking markers tracking the same point will come back. So it's easier if we just solve the camera now and then delete the actual solved points, because there'll be fewer of them, and then we can delete the ones we don't want and refine or improve the solution without them. So I'm just going to come up here and go solve, And I'm going to go high accuracy and start. Okay, it's finished solving. Let's see what we have here. It's looking okay. I think it's actually looking pretty good. Now we've got quite a few points on Isaac here that I'd like to delete. Let's just go to our sorry about the power tools next door. We have quite a lot of errors here, so I'll draw down the threshold. Zoom in here. Bring the threshold right down. And we can see that the camera errors is quite high, average. And we have quite a spike in this part here. I think this is where the rolling shutter was most affecting it. Anyway, what we're going to do is, because we've told PFTrack to exclude the least accurate points, and also I'm going to go through and delete the points that I don't like. Then we're going to improve the solution, and hopefully that will bring this margin of error down. So I'm just going to scroll through again and see some points that I don't like, and I'll be deleting those. So I guess the points on Isaac's legs here, or they're not really going to be moving much at all, so I think I'll keep those. But what I do want to get rid of is these ones around his face. You can see they're not actually even sticking to his face. They're too far forward and things like that. So I just got the marquee select tool. Just going to select those and delete them. Oops, that didn't work. Marquee select. It's not letting me select anything. Alright, I actually have a graphics card, so now I can go in and actually select some points. And I can see that all these points are inaccurate. Isaac may be moving a little bit, and also they're completely off, so I'm just going to do a nice selection around those and just delete them. Goodbye. And see, there aren't any others. Nope. There may be some on his hand. Let's just see. Yeah, I think I can see one there. I think the ones on his pants should be fine, unless somehow he's moving them. Yeah, I'll leave those ones. Now let's just check and see if there are any other inaccurate points. It's always good to take the time to find any if there are. It's actually very distracting seeing this grid here, so I think it's Alt-G to get rid of it. Because I'm trying to focus on some of these. As I said earlier, this pattern is sort of tiling. It repeats, so it's very difficult for a computer tracker to correctly track points. So I can see this point here is gliding. It's completely wrong. That needs to be removed, and all of these points here are also incorrect. I'm not sure if I want to delete them. It might just be that the problem is with the match move. Anyway, I can see that these points are totally incorrect. I can see this one is incorrect. And I can see that this one here is actually on his hand. And this one also is. And let's see, this one probably is as well. Okay, so that's most of them. What I'll do now is just go to the camera error, zoom in 0.74. I did do the threshold here, so what I might do is improve the solution and take into account those things. But before I do that, I just want to tell PFTrack that all these points on the ground are all on the same plane. So grab the select, marquee select, and select all of these. And I'll just, yep, that's them, except I accidentally got some of these ones here. So is it Control? Nope, Control Z. Alt, no, I'm not sure how to deselect, I'm sorry. I just have to select those again and try not to get the pants. There's actually quite a few on the pants, I think. Yeah, it would seem there's quite a few on the pants. I'll actually delete all the ones that are on the pants except for these three. I think that's enough on the pants. So just go into the perspective view. New window. Sorry. New viewer. Okay, I'm in the perspective. And I can see that these are Isaac's pants here. I can see them there. I'll delete those. What else we got? Let me just go back to navigate. There's one here. There's whatever that is. I have no idea. That will need to be. It's probably incorrect because it's so far out. So let me just go back into the perspective and see where that. Sorry, not perspective. The view. That's supposed to be on the ground. That's totally wrong. Delete. Back in here I can see there's this one here, it's looking weird, and there's also these floaties, I like to call them. They're just lurking, not contributing, actually causing more trouble. So it looks pretty good except for some random things here. These probably shouldn't, yeah, that should not be as far out as it is. They're all supposed to be on the same plane. So I'm actually going to come in here and select all of these. Oops, wrong tool. And delete those because they're incorrect. This one, unless it's on Isaac's head, is incorrect. Yep, that's incorrect. Now that one, what is that? That looks incorrect as well. Let me just see. Yep, totally wrong. And that one, WTF, mate. Delete. Okay, that's most of them. We can see in the camera error. Oh, it hasn't actually gone down yet. It will in a sec. Again, what I wanted to do was select all the points on the ground and tell PFTrack that they're all supposed to be on the same plane. So marquee, and hopefully I won't get any accidental pant points. So select these here. All of these should be on the same plane. And just go camera. I think it's camera. Nope, tracking constraints. And we need a new constraint. These are all planar. And I just need to grab all of these and actually add them. So there's 178 of them. I'll close that. Now if I improve the solution, I want to improve the constraints. Sorry, use these constraints. They need to be weighted and considered. So I'll hit start. It's going to think for a moment. Okay, so in the perspective we have a different view of the scene now. Whoops, let's navigate. They're all more on the same plane. PFTrack has reoriented itself to sort of accept that they're all on the same plane, and let me see in the perspective again. The camera error has gone down a bit. The average is still pretty high, but this is a very shaky shot suffering from rolling shutter. It's not going to be perfect, but this will probably do the trick for us. Let me grab my ground plane back and I'll set something like this as the origin. And that's actually working really nicely for us. I'll orient the scene a little bit. What I could have done is when I had all those ground points selected, I could have set the ground plane to those. So I'll just go to tracking constraints and select all of these here. So they're going to let me select them. Doesn't want me to select them. I'll just select them myself, grab all these things from the ground plane and tell PFTrack to sort of sort the ground plane out amongst these. So camera, orient scene, Shift F9 is the shortcut. I might need to rotate this a little bit.